Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. We're joined once again, it's been too long, by the two-time Olympia Classic Physique runner-up, one of, if not the most popular Classic Physique pros in this sport today, all the way from Canada, Chris Bumstead. How are you, sir?
What's up, Ron? Happy to be back on the show.
Chris, you're older now. Didn't you just have a birthday?
I did, yeah. I'm getting real old. I'm 24 years old now.
Oh, you just turned 24?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. I think I was a year ahead. I was going to say you were 25. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. You're still good. 25 is going to be a rough year for you though, because that's when now you're in your mid 20s. But 24,
Yeah, that's the halfway to 50 mark. Not excited for that.
Yeah. Well, wait till I'll be at the 50 mark in a few months. That's going to be horrifying. But let's talk about the last time that I spoke to you officially was in October. It was a few weeks after the Olympia. And you know that interview was all about the Berger's disease, which nobody knew about. You did the Olympia under crazy circumstances, being hospitalized, during that prep, and being very what a warrior, what a trooper, because everyone else would have been crying and bitching and moaning, or at least they maybe even pulled out of the show, but you didn't do that. So the last time we spoke, this is where you were at. You were cutting way back on your protein. You had to drop some weight because that's what the doctors told you was the best course of action. So what's happened since then? Give me the timeline for how things have gotten better since then.
Well, essentially, the biggest part was obviously getting my body back to healthy, and that was going to take up until mid-December. So I was taking the meds I was taking, which really sucked, cutting back on protein, food in general, and a bit backing off training for a while, and that kind of went up until late December, kind of January, and I had my final appointment not final, but the last checkup was on the meds with my doctor on January 9th, I believe it was. We went in there, checked on my kidney function mainly, did a bunch of blood work, urine samples and all that, and everything was pretty much back to normal. There was a little bit of excess stuff kind of coming out in my urine, but just a tiny little bit over normal, which isn't he said it's not something to be worried about right now, but my kidneys probably never going to be back to 100%. Maybe they're 97 or 98. They'll never be back to full. So definitely something I have to monitor at that. But since then, since he gave me the okay, I've kind of been slowly implementing more food, which has helped my training a little bit more. I slowly got back into things, and it wasn't until about 3 weeks ago I think I started to fully push it again and start to feel really good. Excited to go back to the gym, excited to be doing lifts and stuff like that. So it definitely felt good to be back finally.
I mean, you look in the pictures, it's hard to tell what's current and what's a throwback picture, but I haven't seen any pictures that you posted where you looked dramatically smaller in any way. Did you, at one point, what was the most muscle? I know the weight's really not that critical because its body composition changed too, but what was your worst point as far as body fat accumulation and muscle loss?
Well, I can judge it pretty well because I know I almost always have the same body fat levels in my off seasons, always, and I'm always 250 or 255 and above, whatever. This time I was down to 230 pounds at that same body fat, so I would say I lost about 20 pounds of muscle or something about that.
With I know they had you lower your protein intake because anyone with a serious kidney issue needs to do that. But what about, did they want you not training? Because I know, just training in general, breaking down the muscle and the waste products, that goes through the kidneys too.
He did tell me to hold back on it. He was like, I know this is what you do, and you're still going to go in and do it. So he's like, don't go in there and try and PR any lift. Don't go deadlift heavy. Don't squat heavy. Don't do anything crazy. So I was really in there doing kind of machine work, light work. I was training multiple body parts a day instead of killing one thing like I normally do. Training 3-4 times a week instead of a lot more than that. So I definitely held back on it a lot.
On the upside, your joints got an amazing break and rest.
They did, yeah.
Did you feel so much better when you came back to heavier training?
Almost everything felt better. I've had nagging knee issues now for 2 years, almost a year and a half, and it's still kind of there, but it's definitely gotten better. More progress than I've seen in a year, so got to attribute a little bit to that.
Okay, so they had you on meds for how long for this?
It was September till December.
Wow. And what were some of the side effects of that medication?
The medication's called prednisone, and there was
prednisone. Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of side effects to it. There was I know it could cause irritableness and agitation. There was like it could actually cause you to hold on to water, like swelling of your face like that. Insomnia. I know for the first few weeks when I was at a high dose, I like didn't sleep at all.
Mm.
Go to bed at like one a.m. Wake up at like 3, and that was like it.
Oh my
That's all.
gosh.
And I wasn't even tired, which was the weird part. It was
Wow.
crazy. That's yeah.
You weren't tired on 2 hours of sleep a night for weeks?
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It was. They say it makes you feel like I don't know, like you're like jacked up sometimes. It can make you like angry. It's like it's a weird medication.
Yeah.
It can also cause like muscle loss and like bone density loss and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
pretty bad.
But you won't ever have to go on that again unless, God forbid, you have another flare up of this, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, now the benefit that I know that that's what my issue is. I never knew what it was before.
Mm.
So I let the flare up happen for about 2 months before I understood what happened to me. So now I should be able to catch it within a week or so, and then not nearly have anywhere close to that recovery time if it ever happens again.
So how would you catch early? Was it blood testing or is there something even easier?
It would have to be blood test, urine test to really see if it's coming back. But I can kind of tell, like, for when I hold on to a lot of water, really. And I notice that the most in my shins.
Okay. Yeah, I still can't get that image out of my head of you pushing your thumb into your shin and with like Play-Doh.
Just stayed there.
The impression stayed there. Wasn't that like Olympia Day or the day before the Olympia?
I mean, the day of the Olympia, it was there a little bit, but that really bad one was like a week before. So
Wow, unbelievable. Okay. What's going on with Gymshark? I see you're still doing more with them.
yeah, quite a bit. They keep us traveling around a lot of cool places to meet people. So the last event I had with them was in January. They flew us down to Australia.
Wow.
They host these like pop-up stores all over the world where it's just free entry. You just get to come in and meet people. They set up a huge warehouse, bring down a bunch of athletes. So it's a really awesome experience.
Was that your first time in Australia? You've been there before?
That was my first time. Yeah,
Wow. What'd you think of it?
I really liked it. It's a little bit too secluded from the rest of the world, but it's a nice city. The people are nice and it's hot as hell. So can't really complain.
Where were you? Sydney, Melbourne?
Sydney, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's where my son-in-law's from. They actually had, I don't know how the cold has been treating Canada, but I don't know if you realize we had like the coldest week in America in like 150 years last week.
I was in Chicago on that
Okay.
when it was minus 65 or whatever.
And you know, but
I was there, yeah.
meanwhile, Adelaide, Australia, for you weather buffs out there, had their hottest day in recorded history the same week. It was like 100 and 122 degrees or something stupid. Anyway, back to you and your training. So when you got the clearance from your doctor, he said everything looks good. Just keep an eye on this or whatever. Had you been away from really heavy training, did you have to ease back into it, or you were just doing less volume? I mean, what was the process of coming back to your normal style of training?
Well, I switched back to training one body part a day, which is like forever my favorite kind of split that I like to train. Now I only train 5 times a week, whereas before I just kind of push myself every day. But I noticed I started to break down, so went back to training one body part once a week. And yeah, I wasn't lifting heavy for a while, so I slowly kind of creeped my weight up. I wasn't training like a power lifter or anything because I knew I'd probably hurt myself coming back that quick. So I'm still in the process of now kind of getting my strength back. I'm not as strong as I was before the Olympia or anything, but it's definitely creeping back.
Now, you say you're not training like a power lifter, but I could have sworn I saw you doing six plates on a deadlift. Oh, 2 or 3 weeks ago on Instagram, correct?
I have some of my moments where I have a set where because I love lifting heavy. So like that's the only set I've done since then that's like was really heavy, but I miss it sometimes, so I just push it.
You also said in that post that you wanted 7 plates by June, by the time summer started.
Yeah.
Do you have a couple goals? Like, do you set these strength goals where, even though it's not all about strength, but when you get to this amount of weight on the deadlift or whatever, your back's going to have to be better?
I do for sure, yeah. I think for me, deadlift is a bit more of an ego thing, to be completely honest. I don't think me deadlifting 7 plates is going to benefit my back at all.
Oh.
But again, training something I love, so if that's a goal I'm going to enjoy and chase after, I'm still going to do it. But I definitely do put in little strength goals. They're usually more volume oriented. Like I know back when my legs were the best they ever were, I was able to squat 4 plates for like sets of 15 to 20 almost. So if I can get back to that kind of thing for legs, then that's like a goal for sure to get my legs back to where they were.
Didn't you squat 7 plates at one time when you were younger?
No, my best squat was 605.
605. Still, we were like 20 years old, 19 at the time?
I was 21, I think.
Long time ago.
Right?
3 years ago.
Lifetime.
Okay, well, so are you back into at full strength, and where do you stand as far as where you'd like to be? Because at this time of the year, you're probably at normally your biggest and strongest, typically. So where are you in relation to that?
I'm definitely on a good path to that because all this stuff I kind of went through opened my eyes to being smarter in nutrition and training and just kind of approaching things in a much smarter way than I did before, where before I just kind of ate as much as I could, didn't care how much protein I got and just ate it all. And then on top of that, I just trained as hard as myself, push every day. So now I'm kind of thinking more long term instead of training 7 times a week, killing my body and then being broken by the time competition comes. I'm kind of taking more days off, being a little smarter on what I eat as well. I'm not eating as much protein as I have before. Because in the past, I just kind of pushed too much that I didn't need. Yeah. So I brought my protein down a little bit, more than it was. But I brought that down. I've increased my fats a lot in my diet right now. I've noticed in my off season, my energy stays a lot better, a lot more consistent, and I'm able to put on size, eating a lot more healthy fats. So from that, I know I've been slowly putting back on weight. I know I woke up at 250 last week for the first time in a while. So
there you go. You're almost there.
As long as I can, my weight goal this year was to be around 260, like kind of in the morning, like a decently lean 260 before prep. So if I can get up to that by say June when prep starts, then
you will be back to that in 2 weeks, Chris Bumstead.
Well, I've never really been a lean 260 in my life, so we'll see.
I think you're in a good spot. I honestly think taking all the time off training, even though you didn't want to do it, and the heavy lifting and eating, I think it probably benefit you more. I think most of us are all constantly overtrained and we just don't know it.
I agree with that for sure. It's something I definitely noticed. Like I said, taking more rest days now and everything. Like when your body starts to feel like shit, and I used to tell myself, just go in the workout and kill it, push yourself, like stop being a pussy, get in there and just do it. Yeah. It's not always the best thing to do. Even though you feel like you're being hardcore, sometimes you're kind of being worse at that, making your body, you can't recover, you're not going to grow. So.
Right. 23, you can probably get away with it. At 43, you'll probably be in a wheelchair within a couple of months doing it that way.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's your protein intake now compared to what it was when you were slamming as much? Because that's another thing I suspect is that we've all been brainwashed into thinking we need outrageous amounts of protein, and maybe we don't. And you're going to be a great experiment here, I think. So
For sure, I agree. I agree with that. I think a lot of people eat a lot more protein than they really need, and it just almost is a way to get more. They just think it's what's going to make them grow. When, in my opinion, like I said, adding fats and replacing all those calories with fats, that's going to help your appetite a lot more. I know me, when I eat a lot of protein, that just kind of shoots my appetite down. So bringing that down, adding fats in, which are much more dense type of calories, it helps you eat more and continue to eat more. So my proteins now, it was probably almost around, I don't know what it was before. It was over 300 grams a day for sure.
Oh, easily.
Now
I'm sure it was more than that.
Sorry?
I'm sure it was way more than that.
It was. Yeah. I never really counted. I always just weighed out each meal kind of thing and ate 6 times a day. But now I'm eating, I think, about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And I try and get in like 180 grams of meat every meal, whereas before I used to get like 240 to 250 grams of meat.
Okay. So you're down to about 250 grams of protein a day.
About that, I think, yeah.
And a gram of protein per pound of body weight, we've all been brainwashed. That's not enough. I know plenty of guys who do 2 or even more grams a day.
Yeah, I believe if you're dieting and you're at a caloric deficit, then maybe you should bump up your protein in a bit like that. But when you're in your off season and you're eating a bunch of carbs and a bunch of fats and et cetera, and your body's using 100% that for energy and that can just focus on using the protein for muscle repair, I think it's safe to bring down the protein for sure.
Okay. Now, excuse my ignorance, but does Canada also have this bullshit holiday, Valentine's Day?
Like a holiday? We have the holiday, yeah. It's not a holiday. People still go to work, but
no, people go to work here too. But is it the same up there, where like everyone's obligated? The men, I should say, the men are obligated to blow a lot of money on gifts and flowers and
pretty much. Yeah. I know. I was just stopped at the post office, which is like Shoppers Drug Mart, pharmacy, I guess, CVS, like you guys call it. And there's tons of people in there right now buying gift cards or Valentine's Day cards and stuff like that. And it's like with 5 p.m. So Yeah, it's about same thing over here.
Okay, because this interview, everybody, it's being conducted on Valentine's Day. It's not going to run for a couple days, but just that's the context we're in here. Because I want to use that to segue into an exciting new story. Chris Bumstead's life has changed. His sister's life changed. She's now no longer a Bumstead. She's now Melissa Valliere, correct?
She is, yeah.
Okay, and Chris said, we need this to be a quartet. I don't want to be the third wheel anymore. No. Anyway, if all you Chris Bumstead fans already know this, you've known this for a long time. Chris is now in a relationship with 2016 Bikini Olympia champion Courtney King, who lives. Where does she live?
She lives in Chicago.
Chicago. Okay. I mean, that's actually Toronto, Chicago. That's really not that far, right?
It's a 2-hour flight, direct flight. So
okay. That's not bad. So, yeah, I think the world wants to know. You've probably already covered in a video or something, but how did you meet Courtney? How did you guys end up dating and all that?
I mean, we actually really haven't gone over it much, so
good.
There's not too much to it. I'd met her a while ago, I guess. I think she was the one girl that I can admit that I had like a bit of a fanboy crush on in the industry, because she seemed like a much more like down to earth, normal girl. She wasn't posting pictures on the internet that seemed inappropriate, and like she just seemed like a wholesome, good girl, as opposed to, I'm not going to say anything bad about anyone because I don't know, but like it's an image you can get from people. Yeah. So I felt like she was a very good girl, family oriented, nice person, and it was through our sponsor. They told us to make a video congratulating me and Ryan Terry at the Olympia, and she had reached out to me through that, and we just kind of started chatting through Instagram. It was around when I was kind of getting sick, and I know she had gone through some health issues as well, so we kind of bonded talking about some of our life story stuff we went through there. Eventually, we talked for a few months, I guess, and then eventually she came down to Canada and hung out, and things just kind of clicked, and we've been together since.
Wow, okay. So how long ago was that? How long since you've actually met in person?
It was October.
Okay, so it's fairly new. We're only in February right now, but yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Courtney looks very young, but she can't be as young as I think she is. How old is she?
She's 25.
Okay, yeah. I mean, she's got a very young... The bikini girls tend to look younger because they don't do things that age them like some of the other divisions might be doing. So they tend to have a very fresh face, youthful look to them for quite a while. So, what was it, other than that, I mean, what the values and everything, did you find, you've dated girls before, you've had girlfriends before, what was it that really clicked with you guys that, especially for long, it's got to really click if you guys are going to make it go long distance?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of things. You're really putting me on the spot here. Hopefully,
anything you're not comfortable with saying, it's cool.
Oh, of course, no. Just obviously, it's good to have someone in the industry and stuff like that who can understand everything you're going through. But like beyond that, it was like she understood all that, but didn't care about it. We didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about fitness. We didn't talk about competing. She's a very outgoing and talkative, like well-spoken person, whereas I'm a little more quiet and reserved. So I kind of like having someone in my life, being with someone who is more outgoing, because I'll take a step back and kind of hide in the background while they can talk and do whatever. And since she's much more talkative, we're good at that. She can keep the conversation going. I wouldn't say I'm awkward. I'm just more shy, kind of hold back what I say a lot more. So that kind of helped through a lot. And I'm very big on family, as everybody knows me for. That's one of the biggest things that's like really important to me, is like my connection, relationship with my family and all that. And she is like a lot the same. I was down there in Chicago, staying at her mom's house, actually hanging out with her and her mom for like a week almost, and I could see she has the same kind of values. She was raised very similar to me. She kind of just all her overall values and respect and all that. Yeah,
which is rare in general in young people these days. No offense to your generation. I have kids in that generation, but it's a rare thing to have those really strong values and morals now. And in this industry, as you know, even more rare, much more rare. So, yeah, it sounds like a good thing. Now, Courtney, has she not competed since she won the Olympia?
I think she might have done a show or two after that, but after she had a few health issues, and that kind of prevented her from getting back to it.
Yeah, and I mean, she has it on her social media, so I don't think I'm telling any secrets now, but she had implants that were causing like an immune response, and she just had them out. So I mean, that's something that's a lot of women are dealing with, and all over the world now, these health issues. And I guess that's probably another thing that you guys could obviously it's different situations and everything, but that threw kind of a wrench into her competitive career where, this issue that you had could have if you hadn't had it diagnosed and hadn't really treated it and all that.
Exactly. Yeah. No, for sure. Definitely. It's something that's been kind of affecting her for a while without knowing the cause. And like she by no means think it was the implants that caused it or anything like that. But there is lots of evidence and proofs and studies that show that they can affect your immune system to the point where they prevent you from getting healthy.
Yeah.
So if you get sick with them in, they can kind of hold you back from getting healthy again. And it happens to a lot of people. There's depending on the implant you have, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, I'm by no means saying everyone's going to get sick if they have them in, but it's very likely it does happen. So yeah, just happy she's on the route to getting better now.
Okay. Is there any possibility she's coming back this year for competition?
I got nothing to say about that. I'm sure she'll make her own announcement if she chooses so or not.
We know you're in the Olympia this year. I'm pretty sure Ian will qualify again. Pretty sure Melissa will qualify again. So it would be kind of cool if there was, a group of 4 traveling together and hanging out and competing. But, who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
That might be the year after, or who knows what's going to happen. But final thing is, I know you can't show it, but you just got another tattoo. It's all wrapped up. I know you have the tiger on one arm. What did you just get?
Well, it's actually it's on the same arm. Yeah, I can't show it.
Okay.
But it's on the back side of my arm with the tiger. It was just blank in there.
Yeah.
So and I also got 2 pieces done separately, and I didn't like how they blended together. So I found a really good local artist, and he is trying to make those 2 pieces blend better together, and he's filling in that gap I had on the back of my arm.
Okay. But is it a secret what it is?
No, he chose a random a face of a woman with like a masquerade mask.
Oh, okay.
He's putting like jewels and gems on it, and kind of like hurts her face sideways, and kind of some smoke around it and stuff.
You're keeping this all from the elbow down, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't mess with the arms of adults, dude. Do not do it.
I know.
Because you and Breon could be like a half a point apart, and they're like, nah, he's got that tattoo. Let's give it to Breon.
They still might not like it on my forearm, but whatever. It is what it is.
Oh, no. Dorian won 6 Olympias with, I think he's got him on both forearms. Yeah.
True.
It's funny because if you go to any gym or anywhere now, there's so many inked up people, full sleeves and everything, but they still make a big deal out of tattoos in the industry with competitors. But
yeah, I know. I still get shit for it every now and then.
For that one tattoo?
Yeah, people are like, you're ruining your body. You look so much better without it. I'm like, it is my body, so.
If you had like random ass tattoos on one side of your chest, one delt on your back, then I could make a very strong argument that you screwed up. You definitely messed up the lines and the overall flow of your physique. But I think forearms are game on. It's not messing up anything.
For sure, I agree.
So what people can go to your YouTube page, Chris Bumstead. You've been doing a lot of content. You've been asking. I see the comments are asking for more and more content. Are you going to start giving your fans more what they want?
I want to, yeah. I get back in the swing of it, and I fall out, and I get back in the swing of it, and keep falling out. But for me, it was I was really good into it for a while, and then the last few weeks, when my training started to get a little bit better, and I just knew I had to like get back into that groove of like eating, killing myself in the gym, and just kind of head down and go. So I've kind of been a little bit withdrawn from social media. Everything I've posted has been old, posting a bit less, all old YouTube videos and stuff, and this just kind of helped me focus on what I need to do. And I know once I get back in that mindset, I can hold it. So I'm just kind of focusing on that right now. And then hopefully when my body's full swing, my mindset's all there, I can start kind of sharing more, uploading more, and creating more content.
Yeah, the training videos, everyone loves those. And I also liked all your Q&As. You had some hilarious responses to some people ask some like random dumbass questions. And
there's some crazy. I don't even answer the worst questions. Just pick some of the funny ones. But
yeah, I mean, you have some fun with those. I hope you do more of those. I do have one last question. I want to know if you invented this term, juicy. Did you make that up, or is that someone other young guys say?
I think it's a popular term that a lot of people say.
Like just in Canada or in general? Because I've never heard it except in your videos.
I don't think I'm creative enough to invent something like that, to be completely honest. But I couldn't tell you where I got it from either. But the amount I say it and people understand what I'm saying, it's got to be more popular than just me. So
it's like a synonym for like swole or
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like getting juiced up, like getting jacked up, like
But you spell it, don't you? In your posts, I don't know if you're doing this on purpose. Don't you spell it like JOO sometimes?
I do, yeah. Sometimes I do JOOCY, or sometimes to make fun of my lisp. I go Jothy.
I mean, I would keep it the different spelling to separate it from, other people get it confused, and this sets it apart.
Yeah,
I think you can take credit because I've never heard anyone. Maybe I don't get around enough, but I've never heard. I don't think Ronnie Coleman was the first one to say lightweight or yeah, buddy. But
True.
he said it in his videos enough that the whole world started saying it.
Yeah, it's true.
So this could catch on, Chris.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a very busy guy now. You're traveling a lot. Now you're going to be going back and forth to Chicago all the time.
Yeah.
But hope to see you. You're going to the Arnold, I assume?
I will be, yeah. I'm not only for a few days, though. My main MHP wasn't going to be there this year, so I'm actually going to be there with Beat Kicks.
Okay.
They're flying me down there for a few days, and my sister's competing, so she's going to be there Friday and Saturday, I believe.
Beat Kicks is like a wireless headphone kind of thing?
It's a cover for them.
Oh, okay. Right on.
So it kind of protects them, prevents them from smelling like shit, stuff like that.
Right on. Well, hope to see you there. And fans, I guess that's going to be your only chance, the Beat Kicks booth. Chris Bumstead, if you want to stalk him to get a picture with him. That's it, man. Congratulations with the recovery, the comeback. Everyone's going to be watching. I'll be checking that out. Congratulations on the relationship. Seems like it's going well. I hope the best for you. That's it. Appreciate you taking the time, Chris.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Ronline Report with Chris Bumstead. We'll catch you later.